Hello. Just setting up the commentary here, folks.
I am very fast and efficient.
Hope you can all hear me. Comment if you can't. It's Aaron Gantley here. And we're going to be bringing you commentary of the final of the National 10 Ball Champs held at Pool and Blues. The SPITFIRE Signs National 10 Ball Champs, thanks to our major sponsor there, SPITFIRE Signs. If you're looking for any signage, get in touch with Shane at SPITFIRE Signs. Thanks to all the other sponsors as usual, Ms. Q's, NZPA, Kamui, Cyclop, Excellence Billiards and Pool and Blues. Massive thanks to John, you can see on screen there racking up the balls, always doing a stellar job of running the tournaments here, along with Duncan, and John will be joining us in the commentary pretty soon. See if I can remember what's happened. Just been away to install a table and come back after I lost in the quarterfinals this morning to Jono McDowell Pacquiao. I think he then had to play Matt, who had lost his first life to Sullivan Clark on the winner's side. And Matt got Jono to come back down the loser's side there. Simon went up against Sullivan. Is it Sullivan? Yeah, Simon went up against Sullivan to get into the final on the winner's side. Sullivan won that one. I think it was 8-2. So Simon's made it all the way to the final. Sullivan's made it all the way to the final on one life. Just having a little warm up now. And Matt then worked his way back to play Simon just now, which you would have seen on screen. Matt won that one, so Matt's come back to the final now and has a chance of redemption against Sullivan. Sullivan's playing pretty sharp. Just announcing it all now, so it won't be too far till we see the lag. And we're having a race to 10. I was going to say that's an odd number, but it's actually an even number. But an odd, it's usually 7s, 9s and 11s. But we're racing to 10. So here's the lag, guys. Two great players. Matt's just come back from the World Cup of Pool. Just won the lag there.
Hey, DJ Frequency. Nice to meet you. Yeah, you too. I'm Josh. I'm Paul.
So Brendan Ning was also in the. There was 8 of us left this morning. So a field of 50 started yesterday. 42 of them exited, leaving 8 this morning. 4 on one life and 4 still having 2 lives intact. So those ones with 2 lives intact this morning were Matt, Sullivan, Simon and Tone, and the other ones were myself, Jono McDowell Pacquiao, Brendan Ning and Raymond. So Brendan got Raymond, Jono got myself, and I just explained before what happened. So here we go, first frame, Matt to break. We've got the National 9 Ball on tomorrow, so it's a big 4 days. Matt scratched off the break there, giving Sullivan the first go at a run out here. We're live on YouTube, which is also feeding to Facebook, so I can't see your Facebook questions, but you can go watch it through YouTube and put any questions that you want there on the chat, and I'll see what I can answer for you. So Sullivan's got himself some nice shape here for the 4. So 5 onto the 6 will be the key ball here. Not too difficult, but it's the one that you want to get right. And everything else will just work itself out. He's left himself some angle. I think he's thinking about coming back over behind the 8 to bring it down past the 10. This is the shot he wants to get right. It's your money ball. Hasn't come across as much as he wanted. That's what I was saying there. That's the money ball. That's the key ball that you want to get right. If he'd got over a bit further, it would all be plain sailing. So he's still got a shot on. He's got to pull it away from that corner pocket, the white ball. So it's playing low there to do that. He's short it. Looked like it was going to drop. And it would have been, I think it would have been alright on the 8, but anyway, didn't put the 6. So now Matt's got to make sure he doesn't come up as far as that white is now, so he's still got that 8 to the middle, so he wants to be about where he's just looking. It's a good thing to do there if you're a player, is just work out exactly where you need it. Quite a lot of the time we just need to get into an area, but he wants to be coming in on that line, so might play it with a bit of left hand side here, so pots the 6, comes into the side rail and then comes in on the line that he wants. So it doesn't matter if he overhits it or underhits it, it's still the right line. Whereas if he comes up the table off one rail, off the end rail, he could overrun it. Is Matt defending the title? Good question. Let me open Q score and have a look. So you can go to Q score, click on the link that says New Zealand Pool Association and go to rankings, go to national rankings, change it to complete list, and we can see the 2018 10 ball champs number 1 with 200 points was Matt, yes. Runner up was Marco, Simon Singleton 3rd. No, it's just checking some, answering some questions there. So, Burmester 101. Yes, Matt is defending the title. Tough cut here. Got to cue this one nice and straight. And he's jawed it. And it's already on. Just put it on, start talking, John. So just like to welcome Johnny Mack to the commentary box here. We've got our nice, last time you did this with me, I think we had our faces together in front of a little mic on a tripod. Now we've got the headsets.
Yeah.
A bit more professional, a bit more hygienic.
No, I feel like I should be driving a 747 somewhere in terms of the pilot with all this gear on.
Absolutely. So there's Sullivan with the first frame. While that's racking up, we can hear a little bit from John, who's been running the tournament. How's it gone for you this weekend, John?
Oh, it's actually gone very well, to be honest. The 49 players in the main draw. We're down to the last 2 now, and then we had a best of the rest this morning where we pulled in 24. A lot of the travellers came back to spend some time with each other and play a bit of fun pool, and that went well.
A bit of practice.
It was good practice for tomorrow. And Paulie Paulie took that out against Neil in the final after both of them had played some solid pool on the weekend. So it was a very strong field in the best of the rest, because we went very deep in this yesterday.
That's right. We got down to only 8 left yesterday. Although I was here till about 9:30 with my last match to get into that last 8. It was a long day, but I actually quite liked that I was coming back with just 8 this morning. Actually, I had Paulie's a good friend of mine, and I won the last best of the rest at the NZ Open, and he told me he wanted to win it, and I said, well, one thing that you should do if you want to is take it serious. A lot of people sort of take the best of the rest as a bit of fun, where I think if you play it like you play a normal tournament, you got a good shot, because you got it up on these people that are just having a bash.
I have to agree with you. The guys who came in for a cup of coffee and a laugh got knocked out by players that wouldn't normally beat them, who were actually making the most of their chances on the table. And the best of the rest is no mean feat. There's 24 players there, and some of them were very accomplished.
Some of the names in there, like Jun Kurian. I remember Xavier asking me, was there any good players in it this morning, and I opened it up and had a look. I think I read out about 6 or 7 of players probably in the top 30. Same when I won the best of the rest at New Zealand Open. Simon Singleton I had to beat in the final, so that there's always
and you still enjoy pointing it out to him, I believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But no, I tell you, there's no idiots playing in the tournament for a start. So the best of the rest is no easy beats event, and you've got people in there who in the past have got to Oceania finals. To be honest, looking at the field that was there today.
Yeah. So we've got an even bigger field tomorrow with the 9-ball, national 9-ball. So close to 60 players there.
Well over 50 for the men and 10 for the ladies, and a strong field in both. So looking forward to working with that lot, and working our way through an effective weekend and a good warm-up for everyone before the Oceanias in August, where I'll be surprised if it's not 100 to 115 players.
That'd be very cool. So Matt just got himself out of a snooker there off 2 rails. He has left Sullivan a shot. It's not easy, and getting onto that 3 is not going to be easy either. Let's see. It's never going to be easy. But he's got lucky.
Yeah, they call that a good miss, I think. If you're going to play into that pocket and you come in on the long rail side, you've got a chance of getting the 2 ball safe. If you go into the other rail, it tends to hang in the jaw.
I think Matt will just be looking to send the 2 up the table, and maybe tuck the wide up in behind the 9. I don't know if we can see enough of the 2 to do that. Might only be able to see the edge. I don't think he'd be going to cut it. Oh, he is going to cut it. He may have actually called that now that I think about it. I saw him point over there. So he made a good pot, but he's left himself a real tough 3, which is a natural in off into the middle. So I might just be looking at another safety here. Just play the 3 to go down behind the 9 and 10, and get that white to follow in behind the 7, I would think. Unless he can see the right hand edge of that 3, in which case he'll just cut it into the middle. Which, he's played the safety a bit different to the way I saw it. Just gone for a bit of distance. So had a few ladies in the tournament this weekend. A couple of juniors with Henry and Xavier.
We had a good.
Congrats to Connie.
Yeah, Connie went deep actually, and only got knocked out by Raymond in a hill match. She played very well, and she didn't do too badly in the best of the rest today either. Xavier had a win in the main draw. Two wins actually. Draw. Yeah, you're right. 2. Yeah, which I'm sure probably put about 3 inches on his height in about 10 seconds, because he was potting very well, and I had some great compliments from others coming back, and in the 9-ball, we'll not only have Xavier, who was potting like a demon over the last 2 days, but we've got Cooper back as well, who has been a little machine.
Henry as well, yeah.
Henry's here. Henry.
So those three have become really good mates. We have our Sunday sessions, junior coaching, up here at Pool and Blues that me and Tone run. Got about 10 kids now. So if you've got any kids that are wanting to get into pool, you can get in touch with me. Maybe just give me a message on Facebook or something like that, and I'll let you know about it. But yeah, Henry, Cooper and Xavier, just they love it. Play king of the table, and we've got Cooper's sister, and we've got Caitlin and Alexandra now.
Yeah, who travelled all the way from the Waikato to join the event and come up regularly for practice and coaching as well. So their commitment is undoubted.
All right, Matt on a run out here after Sullivan scratched. A really good pot. He was unlucky. Not an easy 8, but I feel like he'll probably get this. Maybe just give it a tickle of left-hand side to bring the white over into the other half of the table. You don't want to do too much, just want to make sure of the 8. Which he's done, and he's played that with good weight, and now it's just 2 cushions and out for the 10. So Sullivan took Matt's first life this morning, so Matt looking for redemption here. It's going to be a hell of a match, I think.
I think you are likely to be very, very right there, sir. It should be a hell of a game.
I can tell you from, if history's got anything to do with it, it's going to be really hard to beat Matt. Most people who have taken Matt's life end up meeting him again in the final and coming across a different version of him.
No,
but Sullivan's got the goods.
Yeah, no. Sullivan's had a great event. He's got through intact to this point, and he'll be looking to carry that through this match as well. And I'm very sure Matt is equally determined to halt the charge.
It's a big bounce back for Sullivan, because the last was at North Island 9-ball, about 3 weeks ago. It was a strange tournament. Likes of Sullivan and Tone, someone else, one of the big guns, all exiting really early.
Yeah, they exited very early, but I tell you what, it's a game of pigeons and statues. It's much more fun to be the pigeon, but there's nothing like an event like that to make you come back more focused for the next one.
Absolutely. If you are watching this, share the feed round. Another scratch by Matt, you won't be happy with that.
Yeah, it's been interesting today. He seems to have had a bit of trouble through the day sometimes. I think just quite getting his normal pace, overrunning a few shots he wouldn't normally.
Who's that?
Matt. Yeah, but I know he gets very focused on fixing those things very quickly in these events.
Well, you have to if you want to win it.
Yep.
Alright, so Sullivan should be looking at 3 cushions. Go side, top, and then back to about where he just picked up his chalk from, and come in on the line of the 3. So he'll be looking a bit of top right hand side.
That
so
would
he's
be
looking
my
at
guess.
the line there.
Yep, he's looking at the line off the 3rd rail.
So you always, if you can, you want to be coming in on the line of your next shot, and it doesn't matter if you overhit it. Oh, he's going to pull it back now, actually.
Oh, he's going that way. Oh, he's going to bring the in.
Wants to push that 4 out. That's a great shot.
That is
I don't know if he
very
meant
good
to do
shot.
that, but that was a really good shot. Because it was always going to. No, he did mean to do that, because he's looked where the 8 is. That's a fantastic shot. That's high class.
No argument.
Doesn't want to do that.
No. It's funny how after a great shot sometimes you just get that little bit where you wrought yourself on the one that's slightly easier.
He's going to get his jump cue. So be careful on these ones to just jump it over a little bit so it's got time to stop. He's played it well.
Very good jump shot.
That's
Landed just about right on the ball, and with the backspin just dragged it back for the 5.
so the 6 to the 7's the winning shot in this run out, I think. This shot should be fairly standard. Get some good shape there. Where does he want that 7? I don't know if he's going to come towards us with the white or pull it back. I think towards us a little bit. Of
It looks like it's going up
like
and around.
and out. Perfect. Yeah, that was the winning shot there. Get good on the 7, and it's pretty plain sailing. Just got to make sure he keeps some angle on the 8. You don't want to get too straight. Get over for that 9. That's perfect.
Yeah, a bit of bottom there to head on to the 10 to hold the white.
So it should go top left and go side rail, top rail, and out like that. These ones you go just bring it back but avoid that middle pocket. You gotta pick your spot.
Yep, he's bringing it back.
He's just decided to go back and forward.
Yeah.
Just low risk shot, so there's no chance of going in the middle, but it does leave you a longer pot. But I think he's pretty confident in his potting ability. He's got himself on a good angle on it. I actually prefer it to have a little bit of angle like that than dead straight. So you'll just put that away like so. 2-1. That was off from the scratch. That was, wasn't it? From Matt scratching. So that was
from memory, yes.
That was a run out. So Sullivan playing really well. Matt just needs to get his break right. They're both playing well, but if you don't get a ball off the break against guys like this, you don't get another shot really. So if you scratch off the break.
Yeah, making sure that everything is touching nice and tight, so he gets that nice explosion when he powers that white ball into the 1.
Is that rain?
It's rain on the roof for sure. It sounds like we've got some heavy rain.
You've got to be watching on YouTube or Facebook. My son playing in the room said, "Are you even doing commentary? I can't hear it." So yes, it's not over the speakers here in the room. It's if you're on Facebook.
No, they have paying customers here that I think we could drive out quite quickly with our commentary instead of the music they're playing in the background.
Speaking of music at Pool and Blues, last night, Thursday, we had he's become regular now.
He has, yeah.
What's his name?
Honestly, I've only heard him twice. I don't remember the name of the artist, but I did think that I have a son who has a wedding coming up shortly, and having someone of that ability there as a bit of live entertainment would be ideal. He was very, very, very good, and
actually picked him up from the night market. So having feed at the night market, he was playing, and it was Simon Singleton who said you should go and see if that guy wants to come up and play at Pool and Blues, and he's been coming every Thursday since then.
Yeah, no, I found the selection of music that he played thoroughly enjoyable, but his vocal and instrumental talents were very good. As I said, I wouldn't hesitate to hire him for a private function, and if I could remember the gentleman's name, I would be quite willing to share it.
There's posters all around the room. I'll have a look later. He's got that cool little pedal too, so he can start he can play something and then hit the pedal and it records it as a loop, and then he adds layers and layers on. Then he starts singing over top of it. It's quite incredible to watch. Anyway, back to the pool. Having the Chinese snooker over top of the 10 and a 1 on the top rail. Not easy, but Sullivan will have a go at a safety here.
I have to see, one of the best finishes I saw off a Chinese snooker was yesterday by Brendan when he snookered on the 7 with a difficult cut to the corner like that.
The final frame.
Yeah. Hill. Lots of pressure.
Against Mark Chews, who survived and come
and
back this
Mark
morning.
was playing well, and Brendan smashed the 7 in with a nice finesse shot, and then dragged it right round for
full length of the table. 45-degree cut.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
And he came back for perfect position on the black to set himself for the run out.
That was amazing.
He left the table. I think there was more adrenaline than there was Brendan, actually.
Yeah. No, he was pretty pumped.
Yeah.
It actually reminded me of when I played him in the BCA semi-final, and he played an incredible shot like that, and he got so pumped and pumped his fist that it was like celebrating too early, then he missed his next shot and I won it. And he did it yesterday. I was like, don't celebrate too early. He did it again on the 8, but he managed to finish.
That's why I like the Scotch doubles in the BCA, because when you play a shot like that, you hand back to your partner. He's as cool as a cucumber, and you get a chance to actually get yourself back into some sort of shape before you play your next shot.
Alright, so Sullivan looking to come off 3 rails, and I don't know if he's called the one into the middle. Oof. Oh, he's just missed it, folks. Right, so first opportunity for Matt in a couple of frames now, since he scratched. He'll be looking to tie it up at 2-all here.
Well, he gets a hand on the table and a chance to play it the way he wants to. The 2 doesn't look too easy, though.
No, it's on, but I think this is the money ball. This is the big shot. If he can land on that 2 where he wants, then the rest is pretty standard, except getting on that 8, I think. But where the 6 is with no 7, shouldn't be too hard to stay on that 8.
So he's going to draw this back to the 2 and try and keep it on that line.
So this is one of those ones where you can't come in on the line that he wants, so he has to actually weight this perfect.
So he's going to draw it back and try and hold that white ball back on the perfect line for the 2. So and enough for him to cut that.
Pot the 2 and just hold with the 5. White will just tap into the 5 and hold for the 3. There's probably only half a pocket there for the 2, so you want to make sure that you play these ones quite solid. You don't want that 2 veering off at all. No pussyfooting on these shots, just thump it in.
Yep, make sure that follow through is long right through that white ball so it understands what you're trying to do. Great shot.
Magic.
Yep.
Not sure how he'll come back out to the centre of the table for the 4, but whether he'll come this side and out to the middle or just come off one cushion back up through the gap between the 10 and the 4, I think he'll probably play with a bit of left hand side and come 2 cushions and out to the centre. Yep. Oh, he's kissed into it, but it's turned out right. He can cut that into the middle, but he's got to avoid the 10 now.
Yeah. If he cuts to the middle, the 10's in the way. If he cuts to the bottom pocket, he's got to get past the 9 and the 8.
Yeah, he'll go to the middle. I don't think he'll play with top because you got the corner pocket to and the 10 to play. So he might just put a bit of bottom on it and try and pull it back in behind this 10, or even kiss into the 10, which will hold it for the 5. So put it on the right hand side at the bottom just to pull it back a bit. Oh,
Nice shot.
he's seen a path through. That was nice. So just got to land nice on the 6 so he can hold it for the 8, and it'll be 2 all. I think we should get a couple of commentary beers on Matt's tab. What do you reckon?
Put it on there. As you know, I don't normally drink, but you've talked me into it. Did I hear you laugh?
I'll be back.
Max Gold. I found that laugh a little cynical before, if you don't mind me saying.
No comment. So no questions on here, just the earlier one. It was about half an hour ago. It was Matt defending the title. Remember, share the feed around on Facebook, and you can ask questions, but we're running through YouTube because Facebook's been playing up a bit, so you'll have to be watching it through YouTube and using the comments there. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, well, I've enjoyed the questions coming through in the past from Australia, elsewhere in the world. Tony De Fontenay, when he was over in the Coromandel. These days he's not asking questions, he was here asking his questions on the table because he's been playing the weekend.
And he's asking a few questions of the players.
Yeah.
It's good to see him back. I think it's his
Jono, if you and the family,
tournament.
if Jono and the family are still over in Australia and checking in on the events, hope you're all going well. Jono that used to play in the same team as myself, that played up at Browns Bay and then played at...
Jono Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, he's always watching.
Yep. You may find that a few of the people that watch in the weekends aren't watching today because it's been a work day for them, and some of the ones in Australia are still at work.
They'll still be at work, yep. Depending where they are, it's 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
Yep.
I know one place that won't be leaving work tonight. Just went after I lost. I went to town and installed a new table on the 4th floor of a office building in the city, and all the chips and dips and drink were coming out, and they're going to have a big night of pool there tonight. So I love setting up tables and making people happy.
And I had another couple of people here saying, well, hopefully Aaron's also got time this afternoon to put my new tip on, since I've just bought a Mez Q and a Predator shaft down there, and I need those to take home at the end of the weekend. So they're obviously getting you to work.
There'll be a few tips to do this weekend. Hopefully I'm too busy winning matches to get them done. I'll do them on Monday morning.
I have no doubt. Going safe.
Matt finally got something off the break. Didn't have a shot on the 2, so he's played a good safety, but the distance between the white and the 8 means that Sullivan can play a jump.
There's no easy line for that 2 to a pocket, so it'll be interesting to see if he connects with the 2 where everything lies. So he's going to try the corner?
I think he can pot it, but there's the risk of hitting the 6.
Yeah.
So he might just go full, send the 2 back down the table, and the white should naturally go somewhere between the 5 and the 3, hopefully avoid the pocket and snooker him. But this is all off a jump, so we'll see.
Yeah. A little harder to see the line off the screen than it is looking at the table, but
he's gone for the pot, but to his detriment. So let's look at the money ball as the 4. I don't think it goes in past the 10. Might do.
Again, it's very hard to see the line off the screen, but
If it doesn't,
my gut feeling is it probably doesn't.
so I think you'd be wanting to get, and you don't want to be on this side of the black because you got to get it too perfect. If you can get over the other side of the 10, I mean, he's still got to get the 2 and the 3 first, but that's what he's looking at now. So
Yeah, he's got a good
if
chance
you're
here.
looking for
Though.
your run-outs, look at your problem ball, work out where you want to get, and then go back to doing all the
Yeah.
simple stuff. When
Yeah,
I
well,
say simple,
off this 2, if he gets it right, he's got a good chance of creating an angle off the 3 to give him every opportunity to do what he plans to do to get onto that 4.
we're going to comment. Hamish, great close game so far for the final. All the best to both. Thanks, Hamish. Thanks for tuning in. Share it round if you if you can. He's got really straight on that 3.
Yes, he has.
And he's on the rail or just off it, so he's going to have to jack that cue up to get a bit of bottom off it and pull it back down as far as he can, really. The other option is to not go for the 4 and play a safety. So when your object ball's close to another one and you don't think you can get on it, think about how you can get on it to play a really good safety, you know. He could get where he is now and push it out and leave the white in behind the 8. Don't always look to clear.
3 rails by the look of it. Oh no, he's gone to the other side of the white. No, he's going that way.
Look at that, folks. What a shot. What a shot. There's a frame-winning shot there.
Mm-hmm. Little bit of check side to come back to the 5. 6 is there.
Where did you grab that cup from? Like, it's a cup's just underneath the shed.
Hey Josh, if there's no spare tables, just tell Xavier to get off. Right, so with that 4, he played it well onto the 5, which got him all the shape he needs. Now it's just pretty simple run out. I think he's got quite straight on the 6, but so he'll be looking to cheat the pocket a bit, maybe. Oh, yeah. Just decided to put it in there and leave himself a, I won't say half chance, I'll say 75-80% chance on this 8.
Yeah, well, will it tip the 10 after the contact if he gets it wrong?
Nah.
Nah.
He'll
go
top,
through the gap.
side and out for the 9, so it's just whether he pots the 8.
Yep, he's through.
And coming in on the perfect line. So this is the one when you've got the table split like this with 2 balls. What do you do to get your white how you want on that 10? So he's got a little bit of angle. I think he's just going to use one cushion and run down and just use the weight instead of coming in on the line on this one. But he could go 1, 2, 3. But no, yeah. So he's just going to weight it right. Back his potting.
Simpler is better.
Yeah. If he had a bit more angle, then he could have run the 3 cushions and come in on the line properly. But try to keep it simple, folks. Simon was just talking about that earlier, how he was trying to cheat pockets to get 2 inches closer to the next ball, when really just get yourself in an area and back your potting. They don't need to be perfect position.
Absolutely.
You just need to be on it if you're potting well, and if you've got to the stage of the tournament, guess what? You're potting well.
No, overly complicated brings in so much more risk.
3-2 Matt. So he's taken the lead for the first time in the match.
I'm sure.
I feel like if he can keep that break going. Just from, like I say, just from past history, playing Matt when you've taken his life earlier, real hard.
I'm very sure Sullivan's got different ambitions for the outcome of the match, as Matt. So let's see how the cards fall.
Sullivan's breaking well, so that's big bonus for him. Does his little stand up when he breaks. Looks quite smooth when he stands up. Doesn't fire into it. It's just nice and controlled.
Well, he does put a lot of time into his game. When he first came over from snooker, I've never seen anyone practice harder more
and
often.
Progress is quick.
Mm.
It's interesting, when I first saw him here, I said to the likes of Matt, I said, have you seen that guy Sullivan? He's going to be the goods.
Yep.
I had a few laughs actually. They go, yeah, whatever. And I said, you watch how much time he's putting in. Sure enough, he's winning tournaments before you knew it. He's ranked up in the top 5 now.
Absolutely. Hard work certainly has rewards,
Think he
particularly
beat-
if it comes off the base of a skill set that you understand the basic principles of Q Sport, and he's just gone on to add to that and bring in some different techniques to adapt to the 9-foot tables.
Yeah.
And a very supportive family as well.
Well, that's the other thing. So he's not working, as folks have let him have a shot at going pro. So he's allowed to just practice and play. And I don't know how long they'll give him, but they back him. They help him get overseas and help him with his equipment. So he's giving it all.
Yeah. So when you've got support at home as well as passion on the table, it certainly adds to your chances.
Nice guy too. Bit different, but nice guy.
No, I've enjoyed his company over the last couple of years since he first appeared on the 9-ball tables.
He's played that well. Gave himself a little clap there with the cue on the table. I like that.
Well, I think if you want to keep a positive mind and on the table, if you play a narrow miss, congratulate yourself for actually playing a great shot. If it was difficult, don't put yourself down for missing. Just go with the positives, because the last thing you need is a busy brain about the negatives.
So Chinese snooker again. We're the 2 sitting on the middle. He should be able to cut that 1 and nick it off the 2 into the middle. But this is off a Chinese snooker, so not an easy shot at all.
Yeah, on the angle he's going to have to play that. If he gets any accidental side on that white ball, it's going to cause him problems. So he's got to play a nice smooth shot with a long follow through without
Well, he
just
doesn't want
steady.
that white to come out too far, because the 2's going to push up a bit, so he wants to hold for the 2 as well. Has he just touched the 9?
I don't
No.
see.
I thought he stood up because he touched the 9.
Don't think it moved. So.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
scratched.
So let's look. So Matt will be taking a look at the 5 and 7 problem there. I'm thinking about what he can do with that. Does the 4 go past the 9? Not sure.
Well, again, Matt's got a chance to get his hand on the table in any position that creates advantage for him with the 1, and see where it gets him.
If the 4 goes past the 9, then he can just get straight on that 4 and just do a little run through for the 5. It's just whether that 4 does go. He's not over there looking at it, so it must do. It's just a matter of getting onto that 3 nicely to come back for the 4.
Charges.
Pretty cool 4 days so far.
Yeah, look, I have to
Thursday and Friday 10 ball. For me, it's been awesome. I love my cricket, and watching the Black Caps make the final was fantastic. Now I get to play 9 ball for 2 more days, and then watch the Black Caps final on Sunday night. It's like, does life get any better, really?
I have to say we finished packing up here about 9:45. Actually, quarter to 11 last night. Then went home, and I got on the couch in front of the fire and listened to the England-Australia game to see who was going to come through to play us in the final, and then back here today. But I do like the concept of the events. So for the travelling players, they can get here and actually make it worth their while for the airfares, etc., to have a like a festival event. Have a festival event for 4 days where you can really get into your pool, and it works out perfectly, I think, for some of the players that are going to the BCA in Las Vegas, because they can travel on from here now.
And I'll tell you what, because 9 ball's the big game that everyone wants to play, having the 10 ball on first gives you such a good warm up for the 9 ball. So it's going to be some cracker pool Saturday, Sunday.
Absolutely.
Everyone's going to, coming off 2 days of tournament play, you're not like having to go, oh well, wait till the next tournament now if you didn't do too well.
And no excuses. Everyone who's here for the 9 ball now has had a couple of days of tournament play on these tables. So, it doesn't matter if you've travelled or where you've come from, you should be able to make the adjustment now to play your best for the 9 ball.
Yep.
So
for me, it's a big adjustment coming off of any of the tables 1 through to 10, and then having to play on 11 or 12, which are the tournament tables. They cost a bit more to hire out here, so they don't get used as much, and they're a lot faster. The lights are different, a lot brighter, maybe a bit hotter, but it just seems drier, faster, and you come off those slower tables and it takes a little while to find your rhythm and control that white.
Yeah, that's
made
true.
Made the mistake in the last tournament of not having like my 6 practice shots at the beginning of the match when I moved to that table, and Paulie got me because I was just running out of position. So look at that.
Yeah, the good thing today is as well, with the amount of pool we got through yesterday, we've been able to let the last 8 all have extensive time on these tables before we've got to the final. So no one's going onto these tables cold. Everyone's had some match time. At least, I think, of all the guys who made the last 4, everyone's had at least 2 matches on these tables before they had to play.
I think last night you offered me table 11 in my final match, and I probably would have taken it to get a feel for it for today, except the fact that my opponent had just come off of that table, and I think I'm allowed the choice when they've done that. So I was like,
well, that's why I offered you the
10.
choice, because you don't want to play the player coming off a table that they're hot on. But the it's interesting. I mean, no 2 tables play exactly the same. We have a regulars table here where there's a group of people who come in and play every afternoon, and that table would get more wear and tear than probably any other table in the house. And I look at those people and think, God, they're lucky to be able to have the time to play pool like that all the time, from time to time.
You're one of those, aren't you?
Well, could you please keep that quiet? My wife might be listening.
That's where all that beer drinking happens, isn't it?
Did I hear that out loud?
No, you wouldn't do that. You got to drive, don't you?
I don't drink beer. I try and help a commercial establishment pay their rent.
Absolutely.
There's a very large difference.
Do gooder. All right, so Matt's got a jump shot here. What do you jump to? You're trying to pot it in the corner, you're trying to cut it in the middle, or you just
they're not friendly angles either way, really, with the possibilities of what happens if you get it wrong.
It's horrible. Don't know what he's called. He hasn't decided yet. No, he's going to jump safe.
He's looking to,
So he wants to just put the 6 into the middle of that rail where the Kamui sticker is. Or is he going to jump double?
That's the 2 choices.
Maybe the jump double past
It's a
the
big
9.
pocket with the 9 there if he comes back off that bottom rail or
Yeah.
gets it directly in. But I mean, none of those shots would excite me, to be honest. If I had to play them, they're all, particularly the way the table's laid out.
The jump, I was talking to someone about the jump shot, and when I first saw it come to New Zealand, we were actually talking about Tony DeFontenay and how he'd come back to pool, and I said he was one of the first people to start jump shots back in the old snooker world, the original snooker world, and he used to use his shaft and he would put a straw in the end of it to make it the legal length, because no one actually had real jump cues, and he started doing these jump shots, and real good ones because the shaft is so light. But that became illegal because you can't just stick a straw in. You had to, so people were fashioning balsa wood ends with screws to put it in, and people just started
The double kiss
the
took
jump
it
shots.
offline.
Look at that. Ooh, if that had dropped, it could have been sent back by
Yep.
Sullivan. Oh, what's happened? He fouled. Must have hit the 10 or something. Shame we can't go back and replay. We'll be looking at getting that technology and zoom-ins maybe for 2020.
That's the old snooker world before they moved down into the premises in Royal Oak. The
Yeah, it was about 4 buildings down.
Yeah, a
on
bigger,
Zang Road,
bigger barn
down
structure.
the
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
Huge building.
yeah. No, I never played there, but I've heard a lot about it.
So I started there in like 1995. That's when I started. So I played a few years of tournaments there before they shifted. But yeah, I was just getting back to that jump shot. So when we first started doing the jump shots, really you're just trying to hit the ball. You're just trying to jump and hit the ball, make a legal shot. But now, with all these new jump cues, people are playing shots. You know, you're podding and you're controlling the white. It's really cool to see. Looks like
No,
that's
it's become an
3-all.
art. I think some of the old school players hate them, and the newer players.
Well, the old school players you're talking about, the ones that play on English tables?
Yes, and some of the old American players, from what I've heard, making comments about, well, it just makes it too easy and takes a whole skill set out of the game in terms of the snookers. I think Strickland was one of them back in the day, but
Yeah. But the thing is, it's not taking the skill set out, because you've got to be skilled to use the bloody thing and pot and control, you know?
no argument. They're as easy to mess up as they are to get right if you haven't got the right skill set for using them, as I know to my cost.
You know, when you first start using a jump cue, you're just trying to jump over the ball. After
Right.
you learn how to do that, you're trying to jump over the ball and keep the white on the table, because it likes to go bouncing. Then once you get all that right, it's you can actually start thinking about potting and control.
Well, I enjoy playing up at the Salty Dog pub at Snell's Beach, which is not too far away from our beach place. And when you pull your jump cue out when you're playing by yourself to have a crack on the 7-foot tables, you get some really strange looks.
I don't think you're allowed to jump shot on a 7-foot table.
I hope they're not listening, because they don't. They've never told me.
It is illegal in
I
a
know,
7-foot pool.
I'm pretty sure you're right, but
It's also very difficult, isn't it, with the napped cloth and the little balls?
no, the little ball's so light you can pop it quite easily.
And are you using your normal jump cue?
Yeah. I find the jump shot easier with that little white ball on the English.
I haven't tried. I've got an English table at home. I haven't tried, to tell you the truth.
Not sure how the cloth finds it after a period of time, but
Yeah,
yeah.
wear that nap off.
Yeah.
Most bars, the nap's worn off anyway.
No, actually, I have to say up there, the social club looks after their tables very well. They're brushed every day and recovered regularly. They belong to the social club and not the bar.
Ah, right. Yeah, if you got a social club, charge for it. Right, so 3-all. Matt's at the table, eyeing up the 1. He needs to hold for that 3. Can he cut the 1? I think so. He
Yeah.
needs to check, use a bit of check to stop it running away on him.
Yep, it looks like he's playing the check side as you called. Nice long follow through. Oh no, double.
It's what we
Yeah,
call a
it's-
double to nothing, unless that white drops. Yeah, double to nothing. So the way he's played it, if it misses, he's left it safe. If he gets it, he's on the 3. two-way shot or double to nothing. Is, terminology there. Lisa Everett's Bahaha John, you are a legend. So I don't know whether that's about the beer drinking or the pool or the fact that you're just a legend.
I think it's just the fact I'm just a legend. I actually don't exist, only in literature. Hi, Lisa. I'll look forward to catching up with you over the weekend.
Tomorrow.
And then Tuesday, if not before, for the Tuesday pool comp.
So
And
new season's just started.
New season just started, and Lisa has taken out the first 2 weeks in
Really?
terms of winning it. Yep.
Lisa.
Yeah, and with no shame either. She's just won 2 weeks in a row and said, I'm coming back for the three-peat.
Yeah, so you will be banning her pretty soon.
If she keeps beating me, I will. Yeah, no, we're still getting 24 every week, and people having to be turned away on a Tuesday night from the social comp, which, as you know, is designed for entry-level players and slightly above, so people can get involved in pool, and if they want to go on and play harder, it's a pathway event. So we've got probably 4 or 5 players from that playing this weekend, and actually probably more actually, and then a few more coming through that'll transition into playing competitive pool because their skill sets are growing all the time. And I saw a couple of them over here practicing before.
If you didn't have school in the morning, I'd probably put Zave into those Tuesday nights.
Yep. Just keep him away from our table. Sometimes there's some bad language and stories that are inappropriate for his age group.
Lisa's just put in caps here, never, so that must be to banning her, I would say. I think a three-peat does count as instant ban, so Lisa, you might have to throw it this week. You can make it to the final and just do one of those Tom Cruise misses from Colour of Money.
No, well, Lisa's played a lot of competitive pool and is very passionate about it. Add that to cricket, judo and archery. She's had a multi-sports background and is
juggling children.
And juggling children in within the
in her
school
classroom.
system. Yeah.
It's a sport in itself.
I think running pool tournaments is like herding cats, but I can imagine working with young children wouldn't be any easier.
I've got a little classroom of my own at home, 4 kids.
And what are the kids teaching you in the classroom, if you don't mind me asking?
At the moment, they're teaching me not to swear. But they've just a swear jar. They've just started a swear jar last week. I said, does it count if I'm like rapping along to NWA or something? They said, no, you're allowed to still swear when you rap.
Yeah, it was a nice pot now. How to get to the 7? Oh, sorry, that's the 6 still there, isn't it?
Yeah, so he'll take the 5 down into the corner so he can just come back up for the 6. You don't want to take the 5 to the middle because it's close, because you won't get any position. So a lot of players would fear the long shot like that, but you've got to back your potting and play the right shot.
If you
don't take the close pocket just because it's an easier pot.
For me, if you slow down your arm action through to the contact point on the white but go right through it, the long shot, the fear goes away a lot because your body still stays on line. I just wish I could do it every time I tried.
Yeah, execution is the key. It's nice to know what you want to do.
Nice shot.
And those ones too, he got a lot of whiz off that, but he actually didn't hit it hard at all. Nice cue action with about a foot of follow through.
Hit it too hard with hard hands and you actually stun
He
it
is very
instead of draw it.
straight, but he'll cheat the pocket, and look at that, he's whizzed a bit far, but that's alright. So I think he'll just use 1 cushion here, run the white down and back out. He could use 2, depending how he's feeling.
I think you're probably right that it's easier to do it the way you suggested.
Yeah, just get your weight right.
Yeah, no, he's
Well, if you
doing
look
what
how high
says.
he is on the white, it shows he's going to just do 1 cushion.
Yeah.
Oh, what do I know? Thanks for the commentary, guys, from Ryan Dearman. No problem, buddy. So Ryan's just joined his boy Tobias up to our Sunday sessions. So we at the moment starting to get a new face each week. Earlier we were talking about the boys. Cooper McInnes, his sister has come along now too. My daughter Layla comes along, but she's not really into the pool as much as Xavier is. But Raya's got skills just like her mum and dad. Beautiful cue action, those Cooper and Raya. Really nice to watch. If they stick with pool, Henry, Cooper, Raya, Xavier, they're going to go a long way.
Yeah, indeed. Ryan, good to hear from you, mate. Thank you for your sponsorship last year for one of the events, and if you're having a look for a American muscle car, you wouldn't go further than catching up with Ryan on Cars Online and having a look at their showroom down there.
Cars Online.
He was describing some of the vehicles there today to Mike Bowen, who was dribbling from one side of his mouth because he likes American muscle cars. So
who doesn't like American muscle? Well, the boys who like the Japanese.
No, I think driving a sewing machine that goes fast is yeah.
Vin Diesel styles.
James Dean didn't die in a Japanese sewing machine.
But he didn't die in American muscle either. It was a Porsche Spider, wasn't it?
That's true, actually. You're right. Yeah. Those damn Germans.
The Germans.
Yeah. Anyway, Ryan, I'll come down and have a look at your showroom next week as promised, and I'll look forward to catching you over the weekend.
And I'm looking forward to working with Tobias. He's just come along, and I can see a few things that I want to work on with him. So the more kids that we can get into this, the stronger New Zealand pool will be for the future. We've got nothing without grassroots because we're all going to just grow old, and if there's no juniors coming through, pool dies. So say again, if you're on the North Shore, or if you're not on the North Shore, because we've got people coming up from Hamilton for our Sunday sessions.
We have, indeed.
Come up here Sundays, Pool and Blues. Get in touch with me first, 11 a.m. through to 1, 2, or however long you like, really. We'll coach for 3 or 4 hours, and you're welcome to stay on and play afterwards. And we'll be starting our first official junior tournaments. At the moment, the juniors are playing in with the men's, but we'll be starting some NZPA junior tournaments before you know it, and sending 1 or 2 to the Junior World Champs, which is pretty exciting.
No, that's the plan, and you did right. Without the juniors coming through, you have got no future. I think if I look at it logically, a lot of the growth in pool over the last 10 to 15 years has been supported actually by immigration rather than development, and we've had a lot of people come in from the Philippines, China, Vietnam, India, the United Kingdom and elsewhere, who actually have a Q Sports background and want to play pool. But at the same time, we need to have an environment where we're growing our own players, if they're passionate enough and want to play, to come through and keep that pyramid strong, because without a base there is no pyramid.
What was when I played heavily from 95 to 2005. That was the big 10 years where I played before I stopped and had a family. And back then the NZPA had a big junior division, and there was a whole full junior ranking system, and so we had all the Auckland-based players, but a big contingent came out of Tokoroa, the Hazel Cooks, the Denise Wilkinsons, and family. There's a swarm of them, and they were just fantastic pool players. I heard there was not a lot to do in Tokoroa, so that's so they just concentrated on their pool. But then it sort of went by the wayside a few years back. So looking to start that up again. What was interesting though was that the juniors just played the juniors. So what I see that's quite phenomenal now is when you got the likes of Xavier and Henry and Cooper playing with the men, how quickly are they accelerating? I think they've got to play some top players, so I think they're accelerating quicker than if they were playing only juniors.
It's not just that, but they're playing in a welcome environment where, we had Cooper beat the well-established player who went deep in this tournament and got to the final of the best of the rest in an event recently. And we've seen Xavier pick up matches against seniors, Henry pick up matches against seniors. And
Those three boys have all just the last two tournaments started winning matches in men's divisions.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Alexandra winning her first women's tournament at the age of 14.
Yeah, 14.
So I can understand if the environment was a bad environment for kids, keeping them away from the seniors. But if the environment's a safe environment for kids, I don't think it's doing any harm where they're being treated with respect rather than being treated like kids.
Yeah. I think if the junior division starts, if it's not played at the same time as the men's, I know someone like Xavier would still want to play in the men's as well.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some more comments here. So the Rattlesnake says, the more juniors the better. Remember the days of being a junior, had some great junior nationals. Jared Rawlings, don't forget Lewis Chan, one of New Zealand's finest junior QS when he was a junior. Absolutely.
I know a number of those names and ended up playing against them in the APA and then meeting them at tournaments.
Back in the APA League days.
Yes. A lot of those guys that Win Belmont was coaching that came through, they came through as solid players, but they came through as solid people with solid values, because he didn't just coach the game, he coached the way you should behave as well.
Well, so we're working on, so the Sunday sessions has been, we just sort of wanted to stop talking about it and planning it and actually get it started. So Tone and I just decided to start it with no plan, and we've just been working with the kids. But now that we've got an established set, Matt and I have been sitting down, we've got a program, so this is going to be starting real serious, and the beginning of the program is etiquette. Things, all the etiquette, things like even at the end of the day, cleaning the balls, brushing down the tables, and that's such a big part of it, not just playing pool.
So where's Solomon got to get to with this shot?
Well, he's got to get onto the 5, so he's just going to one cushion and run out, stop by the 10.
The rest of it's pretty much there. The 6 ball's near the rail, but not on it.
Oh, he's scratched.
Oh, I didn't expect that.
Well, it was always going that way. That's why I said stop by the 10. He played it too hard. That 3 could have made it if he'd played it a bit softer.
Yeah, a little bit more side.
Or he needed to check it. But then he could have ended up in behind the 10. We got here more from Jared. I played Opens, Nationals and Oceanias when I was a junior. It's one of the ways the juniors will gain the exposure and growth to this game. Even qualified as a junior in an Oceania 10 ball years ago. Well done. Oh, look, a scratch. You scratch, I scratch. You scratch my back, I'll scratch
I'll see you soon, Jared. I know you'll be... are you playing in the weekend? I can't remember. I haven't looked through the whole entry list.
I think he is in the 9 ball.
Yeah, I think you're in the 9 ball, aren't you? Babysitting Tony.
Was he not here yesterday?
No, but he'll be working, I would think. I think he started a pretty exciting new job and things are going well for him. So
I had to play Jared in the North Island 10 ball just a couple of weeks ago, and I'd never seen him play before. And he impressed.
No, I have to say, Win, if you're listening, I take my hat off to you for the work you were doing with the juniors out in the West, right through that long period where you had a cadre of kids there and they played hard and well, but they played fair. And
his daughter was a phenomenal player.
And your discussion before about Tokoroa, what a hotbed of talent that was, and it's a real pity what's happened there. But
it was always going to be when the likes of Phil Wilkinson, Bruce Wilkinson, and back then their old man Neil decided to get a room going and get all of it was a big whānau, the Wilkinsons and the Cooks and a few others. I think 10 of them, it was about 10 juniors just come on the scene out of nowhere, and they all knew how to play. I was in my early 20s and playing pretty well, and I see these juniors coming through, the likes of Hazel and Denise, and
I'd love to see Denise playing this. She's one of the most talented woman players I've seen in the New Zealand scene, and a hell of a pleasant personality from my limited interaction with her.
Don't know whatever happened to him. Joe Spellman, I think he was from Tokoroa as well, but he was a junior who accelerated pretty quickly and had to go into seniors eventually. But so many good players coming out of there.
No, that era at Tokoroa was certainly a golden era of pool in that part of the country, and they went on to do so well across the rest of the country as well.
Nice venue to go to too. I remember a big tournament down there, and they had a big Calcutta. I bought myself in the Calcutta. No one else would. No one believed in me except myself. I think I had to pay. Someone just bid against me just to make me pay a bit more. I paid $90 to buy myself in the Calcutta. I'd qualified in the last 16. And I just needed to get to the semis to make some good money. And I played Jimmy Henry in the quarters, raced to 11, and missed it was 8 ball. I missed the last ball before the 8, hill to get there, spewing. It would have been thousands of dollars. But that was what it was like then. You went down, you played on the Saturday, then they had a big dinner on the Saturday night, ran the Calcutta. Really, I miss those days, really miss it.
So Solomon's got the 1 ball open and just got to work out how to get off that reasonably straight 1 to get back to a nice line on the 2 to come back for the 3.
Yeah, you can tell I've had a couple of beers. I've stopped talking about the match and I'm just talking. So thank you, John, for getting us back to the game. Got some more Jacob McIntyre. Might have to come down with Steve-O and help this large and growing establishment pay their rent. See you soon, fellas. That sounds like a good idea, Jacob.
I need some help to help them pay the rent here, so I'd welcome any company. Come in between 4 and 6 on table 1, ask for Johnny Mac, and I'm sure we can have a game.
And Jared won't be here tomorrow. He says, nope, got gear failure in need of a Unilock, but if anyone has one for sale. I ain't here this weekend, unfortunately, would have loved to, but got my eyes on Oceania's next month. Well,
that Oceania, Jared, is always a special event. You've got a lot of travellers normally, with big contingent from Australia last time, and I'd expect a similar number or more coming up. So you've got a combination of good pool and a good environment, and a bunch of people who are here to just socialise and enjoy their time away from home while they're playing as well. So certainly the last Oceanias I was involved with, it rocked.
Alright, well, Matt here with a bit of a sort of a stun run on the 3.
And he's got a bit of angle there to work his way.
Yep, he just followed through top side and out.
Top, a little bit of inside English and round. Oh, it's a little bit, don't go too much out. Oh, yep, no, bit of outside actually. He had enough angle there to get.
Still used to, yeah, left hand English. Just brings it off that top rail and kicks it out off the side.
Yeah, that nice positive follow through that gives you the momentum to get the ball to move.
So he does have to make sure he gets a bit of angle in the 6 so he can get back up for that 7, which he's done well. Just a replacement shot, they call that one. So the white replaced the position where the 5 was, went forward 1 rotation. And so he's got just enough angle now to go into the side cushion, bit of left hand side, which will spin it back up out there.
And again, a nice positive follow through to get that ball to do what it's told.
Keep going. He might have come up short there, John.
Yeah, I actually think he's got the line, but
He's got it. Can we just talk?
And again, he can punch off that top rail.
Well, this frame's over, doesn't?
Yeah,
if we could have,
on the
if we
balance
could
of
all have
probabilities.
3-ball finishes like that, it would be lovely.
It's pretty damn good.
And with the 9 so close to the middle, he can play it cheat the pocket a bit, play the 9 this way, and
Yep.
just
Then
pull
just a little bit
pull it
off
right
that
back.
rail to come down on a natural line to the 10.
This is what Simon was talking about earlier, though. He's like, why am I trying to cheat the pocket to get closer to the 10 instead of just punching it in and back in my potting? But if you can get closer to it, why not?
Yeah, sometimes you get into that mindset though where you feel you have to be close, and it's often a sign of a confidence issue, really, in terms of not feeling that comfortable that you need the extra advantage.
So 5-4, halfway there for Matt. It's been pretty tit for tat all the way, which is what
Yeah.
happens with alternate breaks.
It is indeed. I don't think this game is anywhere near over. Who else is out there in the community listening that's got something to add to the conversation? We'd love to hear from you.
Jared's back in the underdog, he says. Agree to disagree. If Sullivan wins this event, it will be the start of a run of many great achievements under his belt, backing the underdog. Well, he's already had some great achievements. He beat Matt in one of the Auckland events last year.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So we know what he's capable of.
The other thing for
Once
these
you
guys,
win,
the other guys for these guys today is it's actually not been as long and as tiring a day as we've had in some of the past events.
Tell me about it. Usually I'm starting the commentary for the final at like 9 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night, and the wife's texting me going, where the hell are you?
And normally that's off a 9 o'clock start as well. So
Yeah.
we've actually had a day where most of the players in the main event have come off fresh from only having 8 players in there rather than starting with 16. So it's
Which was part of, like I say, we played late last night. Not late, finished 9:30, but that meant that we were down to 8.
you finished at 9:30.
I finished at 9:30.
Yeah. The pool finished closer to about 10:15, and then pack out was about 10:30. So we but again, it wasn't too draconian, and the players had a good chance to rest up and come back today fresh, so that.
And because of finishing early today, we get to rest up for the 9 ball tomorrow.
Exactly,
too.
that was the plan. Yeah. The
No, we're just doing sound check.
but the idea of driving the players into the ground for the 10 ball and then making them play the 9 ball wasn't sound. So we've gone hard on making sure we finish this Mate, went hard on
and a few
yesterday to
balls
make
have
sure we
gone
finished
down.
this reasonably early.
So Matt's only got 8 balls here to pot. He'll be loving this. It's Christmas time.
No,
Sorry?
I think we got some background there. No, we got background noise there from it.
take Japanese in school and remember that one line?
It actually sounded to me like a Indian call centre crossing over to our signal, to be honest. But I blame Josh for.
I think he was just making that up. It wasn't anything. I'm going to have to take a bathroom break.
I can stick around here for a little while you do that.
Thank you, sir. If you could just talk them through Matt's run
So
in here.
Matt's got the 1 ball there. It looks like he will either. He looks like he's drawing. But he's punched through to come back on a line for the 2. Now he's got to get into that 3 ball. A little bit hidden by the 5 and other traffic to get through depending on the angle. So he'll be looking for an easy way in that gives him a line to the pocket.
Yeah, so Cam. How does Cam do it? How does he get it to? It's like something simple, I don't know.
This Matt's looking for a line past the 10. into the corner. And a way of getting that white ball from the 2, which I would imagine is off the rail and straight across on the inside of the 9, but I've been proven wrong so many times when I make these predictions that we'll see what happens. So they're going to come square across to the 3 and comes out of it with a snooker. So what do? Difficult jump. He's going to go up and down the table by the look of it, into the centre pocket. So the kick shot to the centre, hoping to come back into a line on the 3. I'm not sure whether he'll have a line to the pocket if he gets on the 3. I can't see one.
Alrighty. Broke the seal. What's been happening, John, while I've been away?
There's So Sullivan played the kick shot off the top to the 2 in the centre, missed, and left him at the 2, looking for a line to that 3 ball.
What?
What?
Whose music?
Which?
Oh.
That one's the microphone. Yes. That would help the DJ want a bit controlling the microphone.
Oh, because this is the Spotify, and then we usually turn Spotify down and this up for Cam when he plays. The speakers are turned up.
That must be through. That's for the input. For that one there is the button that I was told.
Sorry, folks. We've got a DJ turned up here, and we're just trying to work out the sound system to flick it off of the radio, off of the stereo. And we're sitting right in front of the sound system, so just. Do you want to get right in here? Don't we? The only man who knows what to do is playing in the final right now, doesn't he?
Based on what Josh is saying while they're trying to sort the music system out, is the first song will be I Still Don't Know What I'm Looking For. So we're coming to you live in the working space of the bar staff in their way while they try to get the DJ live.
No, we've got a proper commentary box. Don't be silly.
Commentary box. I think
we actually sit behind the bar, right by the beer tap, actually.
I think the commentary box they give me will be buried 6 feet underground sometime after I've drawn my last breath, Aaron. Right, 8. Angle on the 9.
Do you have to turn that one down? Or is it a input change?
And comes up on a perfect line for the 10. So Matt sneaks another frame, and here's a 2-game advantage at this stage, racing to 10. If you sort out the beer, I'll hit him on the head. If you sort out the beer, I'll hit him on the head. I'll go. You get on the here. I'll pour the beer.
Sorry for the breaking commentary, guys. Still trying to work out the sounds here for the DJ. It's now 6-4 to Matt. Order some hot chips. Order some hot chips, but I need some of them too. Alright, so back to the pool. I think they're just going to have to wait for Matt.
I would suggest it's not an appropriate time to interrupt him while he's playing.
Oh no, that'll make him angry.
If they do, we'll talk to them about manners.
Oh, it's a very rare miss for Matt. Dropped the cue in disgust.
So Sullivan gets to get a hand on the table, but he's got some difficult cueing.
He's going to be angry as he showed yesterday.
I would. So the 2 didn't make it. Matt gets a hand on the table again with a shot down the rail and a chance of getting a line to that 3 ball. I'd say with a draw shot he will do that. Ooh,
he's missed again.
The 2 balls proving elusive to both players.
I know Matt, he'll be thinking about this. He'll be knowing what's going on. He's got eyes in the back of his head. He'll be thinking about the sound system.
It's not easy to run a business at the same time as try and run a table.
Hooked himself behind the 6. He has, folks.
He's hooked. What's he looking at? The kick? Trying to kick to safety? Well,
so he might look to masse around the inside of the 6, come off the cushion and pop the 3.
I think it's the kick, isn't it?
No, he's going to kick off the top rail.
Yeah, where does that stop?
Right in front of the middle pocket, I'd say.
Okay.
Well, the DJ's got his own speakers for now, so that'll suffice until Matt's finished. So we can just concentrate on the commentary again, I think, and getting onto this 4.
Oh, I don't know. I reckon we should just tell some more anecdotal stories about when we were younger. Get rid of every listener we've got.
somebody made a message and retracted it. Terence Kipper.
Sorry, I missed that. What was that?
Someone made a comment and then retracted it. Look at the posse he's got. That's a fantastic shot. It's just a matter of running it back out to the centre of the table. So sometimes that's all you have to do. There's a lot of, in my coaching I teach the 5 shots on how to get back to the centre of the table no matter what shot you've got. And it's quite often that's all you need to do. Get it right to the centre of the table and you've got a shot.
Well, Sullivan will be hoping to get a hand back on the table in this game and draw it back a little closer.
Bit of Bob Marley from the DJ. Loving it. Conqueror.
Left it over the bin.
Again. I don't think I've seen Matt miss 3 shots in one frame ever.
On the very rare occasions I've played him, I've tried not to leave him 3 shots. Now let's see. Sullivan's got, how far up the rail is that for?
It's potable. He'll get
Yeah,
that.
it is potable.
No problem.
Yeah.
I tell you, Matt will hear that music's not coming out of the speakers, and you'll know that.
He'll be,
and it's playing in his head.
Mm. Still got an angle. If he makes this, I'd say he's back to 5-6.
So he's going to tuck his shirt in. He doesn't want a shirt foul. Might put the extension on the end of his cue. Don't know. No.
Comfortable feet.
I was just talking to someone about this yesterday, Simon Singleton. I was giving him a lift back to Damien's where he's staying, and how I couldn't care less about shirt fouls. If someone's leaning over the ball and I'm sitting behind them, I don't even turn around to look, because I'm not going to take a frame off someone for their shirt sitting on the ball. Honestly, I couldn't give a rat's ass if the shirt touches the ball. It's like, if I'm going to beat you, it's not going to be because of that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
now other people are like coming around the corner having a look, and I know it's a rule, but if that's how you want to win.
Well, do you leave your magic rack hanging over the edge of a table? Player's shot and one of the ball contacts the magic rack because it's hanging onto the table. That's a foul.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
I'd never call someone on that.
I've seen it alter the course of the contact ball as well.
I wouldn't call it if it happened. I wouldn't. No. It's not how you win, Paul. You win by potting the winning ball.
Yeah, that's possibly the truth. But at the same time, if you drop your chalk on the table and the ball's come around and contact that, and that changes.
That's a foul because you moved the ball.
Yeah, but I've seen the magic rack move the ball offline as well when they've touched them on the rail.
But the magic rack can move the ball off the line when it's sitting on the
table.
table.
No, I'm not talking about the magic rack being on the table.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it moves the ball when it's sitting on the table. We don't call that a foul.
Nope.
All right, so he's missed 3 pots in that frame and won it.
Yes.
7-4.
I don't think that'll go down as the favourite frame of the week, of the 2 days. It's not the weekend.
7-4. At the end of this, I'll tell you my. No, I'll tell you. But we're talking with Tony DeFontenay about score predictions for this final, and so far I'm still looking all right.
Well, there's a bit of singing to be done before this is over.
Jared asking, so if your top moves the object ball, is that a foul? No, it doesn't even have to move the object ball. If your shirt touches the ball, it's a foul. But what I was saying is, I would never call someone on that. I don't care if your shirt lays on a ball. If it moves the ball, it's a different story. If your shirt just touches a ball, I don't care. I'd feel horrible calling someone for that. So I say I don't even bother coming around the corner to have a look. I don't care.
Some of the players I've played with on a regular basis on table 1 would be struggling to keep some of their voluminous body off the ball when they lean over, to be honest.
My old man used to keep his chalk in his top pocket. He always wore one of the old shirts that had the top pocket.
Mm.
And he'd keep his chalk in there to chalk. And you'd be watching him playing. He's playing and the chalk's teetering on the edge of the pocket like wanting to fall out. Never did. But
well, that's a skill set, obviously.
so Matt looking to very thin, cut off the 1 and run that white down between the 10 and 2, tuck in behind the 2.
I'd say so. Down and behind that set of balls.
That's pretty nasty. There's no path out of there. 6 is blocking the 1 rail. And yet the jump shot's not on. 5's in the way. That's a really, really good snooker.
You can't go to the side and throw it. You can't go to the top rail and throw it. Can you go round? Oof, that was within a whisker or 2. Maybe a
He's
quarter of a
got
ball.
It was a bloody good effort.
That was a good effort.
Right. He's
So there's a thin
he
channel.
does know the 1 there. He does know that the 1's there. He's just looking to see exactly where he'd want the white if he was on the 2. Or should I hope he knows the 1's there? Yeah, he knows the 1's there. Might be time to go for a second snooker. You can 3 foul and 10 ball.
Yeah, well, I've heard a very good. What's he doing? No, he is looking at that line, isn't he?
He's just wanting to know exactly
he's-
where
yeah.
he needs to get that too. So now that he knows, he can pick the line. So
An older
he'll
player
come
told
off the
me,
rail with
yeah.
a bit of spin.
Yep. And try and throw it down onto that line.
And if he doesn't get it quite right, he's got a good opportunity for another snooker with all those balls down there.
As a wise head once told me, if you've played 2 snookers and got the other guy in real trouble, you often get in trouble yourself by not taking the 3rd one rather than thinking you can shortcut it by running a little
So
early.
I played Jono today in the last 8, and twice he had me on 2 fouls, and he was just in 2 minds both times whether to run it out or put the 3rd snooker on. Me personally, if the run out's there, take the frickin' run out, because we're at a calibre now where I think that it's over 50-50 that we're going to get out of the snooker. Unless you can put them in a really good one.
Yep.
And both times he went. Was it both? This afternoon, sorry, he changed and went for the run out and screwed it up when he should have gone for the 3rd, and then the other time was the other way around. I think if the run out's there, you go for the run out. You back yourself on the run out.
Well, if you get into trouble on the run out, you've always got an option to try and get the 3rd foul.
You can start running out and then switch back to if you need to. But your 3rd foul needs to be bloody good,
Yep.
You got to get it up the arse of a ball, because we're too good at jumping now. Kick shot's pretty good.
Yeah, well, those kicking systems, if you take the time to research them, can give you a very good opportunity to have a 60-70% chance of getting out or better. And 3-rail kick shots are becoming pretty standard ways of people getting out of snookers as well.
I think 3 times this weekend I've been on 2 fouls myself. I've been the one that's fouled twice and then won the frame. It's uncanny how often you can be on 2 fouls and then you not only get out of the third but you return it back to them.
You get that momentum shift under those circumstances. So what have we got here? The 2, no easy line to a pocket.
Yeah, no, he's going to have to think about his safety here, I think. No music now.
Going combo or safe? Going for the double.
No, he's going for
with
the safety.
A safety option. Maybe it was just the safety.
No music now, There's no music now. Ease into it.
Well, here's the dulcet tones of Shane from Spitfire Signs, our major sponsor behind me. And if you're looking for any signage or work in terms of vans,
There
businesses, etc., I can recommend Spitfire Signs to you. I've seen a lot of Shane's work.
Not just signs, he's actually going to wrap my bonnet in nice black vinyl. So he does vinyl wraps on your vehicles. Part of, I mean, that is signage, but if you don't want to paint your bonnet, or do, and it's not that I just want to paint my bonnet. It's peeling away, so it's actually a good way to. So I'll sand off all that peeling, put a black vinyl wrap on, and guess what else I'm putting in the middle, right smack and bang in the middle of that black vinyl wrap bonnet, an 8-ball.
Yep, so if you are interested in pool and people who support pool, give Spitfire Signs a look. They have a website presence, and not only is he a sponsor, he does play in the BCA League and has been playing in the weekends events as well, and I'm sure is back for the 9-ball. So Spitfire Signs, if you need the help,
One of our most valuable
he's the man to
members
talk to.
of our BCA team. So
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about your team.
me, Matt and Shane, Tony.
And a big chunk of the BCA players are off to Vegas, I think, next week. To play in the finals there.
Matt's missed that blue 2-ball 3 times in the last 2 frames.
Yeah, there's a curse on the 2-ball, but I'm not sure. Yeah, corner pocket. And then down for the 4. No. Snooker. Good snooker.
Have you had enough? Help yourself here, buddy. You don't want it?
I'll have a couple, but thanks. No, he's jumping to it. Right, Sullivan's got a serious chance to get a hand into this game now with this 2 round for the 3. Back to the 4, which is open between the 7 and the 10. clear out a bit of traffic and open up the table to try and run out. Some quite distinguished names along that back wall there, all of whom are active in supporting New Zealand Pool. MES, New Zealand Pool Association, Kamui, Cyclop, the Cyclop balls we're playing with today, Excellence Billiards, if you are looking for a cue or other accessories or a table, go and check out Excellence on Ellis Road down in Glenfield. Pool and Blues, the host venue, who very kindly continue to make their premises and tables available to us to run ranking events. And Spitfire Signs.
What was my scoreline,
They
Jared?
have the logo in the corner, which is a little dark to see in the light that's on the table at the moment, but the major sign on the left hand side. So if
Jared,
you are involved in pool, they support us. I suggest you support them, and the symbiotic relationship should continue.
absolutely. Come and see us at Excellence for your MES cues or your Kamui products or your Cyclop products, or for retipping your cues. That's what everyone, Saturdays everyone comes in for their retips.
I'll be down to see you shortly for a new Kamui Clear Soft for my
You
my
better
MES.
hurry, there's only 3 of those left. That's the most popular tip, Kamui Clear Soft Black.
Well, I never liked the MES Q. When I first got it, it felt like a steel rod. I put that tip on and it was transformed. Absolutely transformed.
So when I got my MES, it came with the Kamui original, the brown medium, and it was like a steel rod. I put on the Kamui Black Clear Super Soft. It took me a while to get used to it because it's so soft that it sucked back, I don't know, twice as far as I wanted to, but I know it now. Starting to make it sing. But yeah, so come and see us for all your pool needs, or even better, if you want a pool table, we've got so many different models, and 9 foot, 8 foot, 7 foot, second-hand tables. If you've got a table, you need it recovered or moved, anything to do with billiards, we'll take care of you there.
And I have
Jared's
to say they're
asked
pretty
me what
friendly
my
with their
scoreline
customers,
was.
except when they see me walk in and go, "What the hell are you here for again? You never buy anything." I was saying you're very friendly with your customers. I've seen you guys working, except when I come in and you all go, "What are you here wasting your time for?
what do
You
you
never buy
want?"
anything." But no, I'll be down to see you. If you've only got a few tips left, I'll certainly need one. It's just starting to come down to the end of its practical life.
You might want to try the Super Soft. Just get a little bit more spin.
Yep.
Jared, when I did predict my score, I didn't know it was a race to 10. I thought it was a race to 9, and I picked Matt 9-4.
Was that
So
Jared?
that's what I was saying. Yeah, so far I'm still in the hunt because Sullivan's sitting on 4. So if Matt gets to 9-4, I'd like to say I was right. But it is a race to 10, so we can probably change that to 10-5. But
Oh, I don't. Yeah,
I just know what Matt's like when you've taken his first life. He doesn't like it. He just really doesn't like it, and he will punish you.
Well, both players have had a bit of a scratchy period through the last couple of frames. It'll be interesting to see who gets rid of it first, to see where the result goes. Looking great.
This will be 8-4. Then I'd only be a frame away from my prediction. And I think at 8-4 it's going to take a lot for Sullivan to come back from that.
Yeah, it's a long way back.
You got to have the mental fortitude to do it, and it'll come for Sullivan. It really will. You know, he's up against a 12-time New Zealand champ who will probably end up becoming, I know I'm talking too early, 13-time New Zealand champ today.
Yeah.
World Cup of Pool player, World Pool Masters player who beat big dogs at the World Pool Masters this year and got to the quarterfinals, if you didn't know that.
That's true.
Beat Chris Mellon.
Look,
He's played everyone. He's actually
I'm
played
reluctant to predict.
all the big names.
Yeah, I'm reluctant to predict anything in terms of what results may be. And between this and the 9-ball on the weekend and the cricket, we've got a lot of stuff going on.
I'll
It's
tell you
going to
what,
be good.
had Matt not lost to Sullivan in his first life, I wouldn't have predicted the same. But I don't know, if you think back to any time that Matt's lost a life, he has come back and punished the person in the final.
When he lost in the first or second round a while ago, I do remember he had to come a long way home through the meat grinder of the loser's side and got there.
There's a ball off the break.
And I'm
Oh,
willing
and look
to-
where the one's going to sit. Oh. That's alright. You'll cut that down to the corner. Jared's called it 10-8 to Sullivan.
Anything's possible.
10-8 Sullivan. It's a long shot. I think it's a long shot. Calling it at the beginning of the match, that wasn't such a long shot. Calling it now, that's a long shot.
How you going, Jared? Anyway, haven't seen you for a few weeks, but I suppose we haven't had any events recently. But I'll look forward to hearing about how life's going when we catch up at the next one you're playing in. In the meantime, we've been looking after Tony for you when you weren't here. Nope.
So
It almost felt
Sullivan's
like
going to have to run 1, 2, 3 and come out between the 4 and the 7. Now for the 3.
long follow through with top running.
1, 2.
He's
Hasn't come out enough. Still on. Tough shot though. Might think about safety. Me, I'm an aggressor. I'll probably just take that 3 on into the corner, run 1, 2 and try and come back for the 4, and it'll probably go horribly wrong. I was talking to Xavier at home the other night about
shot.
Oh look, that's exactly how I would want it to happen. Whether I'd execute it as well as Sullivan did there or not is another thing. But I was talking to Xavier about just when you're playing 9-ball and 10-ball, if you don't think you're 80% sure that you're going to pot and get posi, just have a look if there is a good safety there, and if there is, you know, it's another good option. Not necessarily having to take the safety, but just have a look if there's a safety that's got a higher percentage
That's cruel.
than the 80. That is cruel. That's real cruel. Can you see it?
I'm wondering if you can see a thin edge, but I can't. Again, it's very hard to tell off the screen rather than looking at the table. I've got a funny feeling he can't.
I haven't got access to switch the cameras today. We can normally switch to the long view.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have that today. Otherwise, we'd be able to have a look, but I think we can tell by his looking around that it's not on.
No,
He's looking at that
the
spot,
kick shot.
and he has to play it with left-hand side to straighten it up, because that natural angle goes to the corner pocket.
And it's hard because you're going to get a lot of extra erection off the cloth being elevated as well, rather than just getting the natural kick.
You know what? I don't see it much except from myself, but I'm a big masse player. I play masses all the time. I'd just be swerving this round the 8. Not many other players play them.
It's not a popular shot these days, and
I used to practice them all the time when I had my own room.
Your tip would be helping you with that as well, because you're getting a real good grip on the white ball.
I actually did one yesterday where I was hard on the rail behind the ball, and I did one of those vertical cues, and it went out and did a U-turn and came back.
Yep.
Like you do with your finger on a ping pong ball.
The YouTube shot, yeah. That I know the shot you mean. I've always found it hard to get through the ball enough to try and play those personally. I got a few mates who can maybe make it 1 in 10, but it's right. So he's got a hand on the table. He's got a good look at the 5 to 6. The 7's not hard to get to from the 6, and the other balls are open. So we'll see what happens here. But he's got a very chance of getting himself on the hill. If he doesn't, I think he'll be quite annoyed with himself.
Absolutely. So that's perfect angle now. Top side out for the 8. I'm going to leave John to talk you through these 4 balls while I go for another bathroom break, and we'll be back for the next frame.
So Seth Bladder is leaving for the moment. So side to kick around, create the kick across to the 8. Draw shot for the 9. Good angle to play a little bit of check side to hold for the 10. Off the rail with a good line to that pocket. And if this is executed, get on the hill and put some real table pressure on, if there wasn't enough already. Right. And Sullivan needs to get his A game going right from the first shot in this frame, and he has got a game that's quite capable of getting him back into this match without doubt. So let's line the balls up on the magic rack and see how this plays out. Nice clean contact on all the balls. Give the break every chance. Clear the head and go out there and do what you can do, which should be give them a very, very good break, which he's been doing for most of the day, if not all of it.
Just went and tapped Tony DeFontenay on the shoulder and said that's the 9-4 I predicted. He had Sullivan. When I got back from installing the table, he said, "You want to know an inside secret? Sullivan's going to win today." I said, "Don't think so." Like I said, I know Matt, if you take his first life, it's almost like you're better to not. You're better to play him. You're better to come through the loser's side and get him in the final.
Look, I haven't paid that closer attention. As you know, I don't actually get to watch many games at all. I'm normally behind a computer screen doing something quite different. But
I've been playing and watching with him for a year and a half now, and can just about remember every tournament and what's happened.
Right, little touch across. Get a line to bring the 2 back off the screw back off the rail, I'm assuming. Although I'm not sure that 3 slides past the 8.
I think it does, because he
Just.
had a quick look and just kept walking around.
Okay, so he's going to inside English, draw it back off the rail and try and come back in here for the 3 behind the 8.
That's a beautiful shot.
He's got the position beautifully. And he's got the angle
Good
to come
shape,
down for the
yep.
4 if he makes it. Is that the 4? It is, isn't it? Yeah. If he gets to that 4, the 5's open, the 6 is open, table's open. Good break. Just edged the 8.
That might be the match, folks. Matt just needs to hold it together. Don't get too excited. It's times like these, like I'll tell you as a player, you can get too excited, you know, so you just got to stop, take a breath, go through your routine, finish it off.
The breathe in, breathe out thing
Breathe in,
actually
breathe out.
is underestimated
Hands
in
up
terms
or
of
hands
its power
down.
to maintain
Back up.
calmness and a bit of oxygen to that thing they call the brain.
Tell me what you're going to do now.
But certainly it assists in terms of giving you a little bit of time to be calm about the shot and think about how you want to do it. So he's got a good line there.
Perfect. So he's got perfect shape there with the little screw back. If he didn't screw back, he would have had more angle than he wanted. Now he can just hold for the 6. He just wants to have a look and see what sort of shape he wants off the 6 for the 8.
Little
8 across to the 9 is the key shot here.
So
It's
a
not
little
that
bit of draw
difficult.
inside to come down onto a good line onto the 6. Which he's got.
Stop shot on the 6 gives him perfect angle. Even if he draws back a little bit, it gives him just a bit more.
Yep. Just making sure.
He's going to follow through.
Just going to do a little bit of run and through up and down.
Now he's too straight.
Yep.
Personally, I
Little
would
bit of
have
check side
stopped
to
and
hold
had
the
a
line.
bit more angle.
Yep.
So what he'll have to do now is go side, top, and back down, because he hasn't got enough angle to punch across here. Although saying that, Matt can do it. I've seen him get heaps
He's
of
looking
angle.
low on the white ball.
He'll just thump it with middle to go 1 cush. See?
Ooh.
Thump it. Oh, he's missed the 8 though.
Yep. Right, Sullivan. This is your chance to get your.
I thought the stop shot on the 6 was probably the better shot, because that gave him the natural angle to come across for the 9. And that's that thing where you're choosing an easier pot over a better position.
Yeah, in personal preferences, some players are more confident on certain shots than others.
He'll be kicking himself, really kicking himself.
Yes, there'll be a few little words going through the mind, I'm sure.
Ryan Dearman's asking what that aiming system was that you mentioned today.
Which one?
I imagine it's the one that Simon was talking about.
Oh, from the coaching in the UK.
Yeah.
With the guy who coaches the top
The
snooker
2
players.
lines or something.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
dominant eye, working out your
Yeah.
dominant eye and all that
I
sort of
think you're best to talk to the people who actually were there during
Lee
the weekend.
Jones knows what it's called, because he was the one telling me about it. I don't have a dominant eye, so I don't need to check it. I line up in the middle of my 2 eyes. It's funny, Lee said, you know how sometimes you miss to the left or miss to the right? I said, no.
I just miss everywhere. Right. Good work, Sullivan. Under the pressure of.
Matt will be kicking himself there. That was the match. But I did say, now that it's race to 10, that it would be 10-5. Now it's Matt's break, 9-5.
Yeah, I still think
Gus on.
that run out will have given Sullivan a bit of confidence to keep his head in the game and keep on rolling. So let's just see how the dogs. bark at the end
10-9
of this.
Sullivan, says Jared. Well, if he does that, they'll be talking about it for the rest of the year.
I'm okay for about the next 15 seconds.
28 years yesterday.
9-5? I said 9-4. But because it's a race to 10, it has to be 10-5.
There's your Scotch doubles partner, Jared. Mr. De Fontenay just coming over and asking a few questions. Nice to have Tony back in the community after his period building over in the Coromandel.
Absolutely.
Hadn't seen that old snakeskin looking case of his for a number of years, so good to see him back in town.
I remember when I started back 3 years ago after having 10 years off, and I pulled my case out the back of the cupboard, and I think it still smells musty 3 years later. I can't get the must smell out of it being 10 years away in the cupboard, but the queue inside was still the same. I don't use it now, I've upgraded to the Mez, but my old Predator, which Xavier now uses, and is I think very deserving of it. I love that queue. It's actually my dad who passed away, late Jim Gantley. It's his old Marley butt, and I put a Predator shaft on it, so it's a bit of old school with new technology, and Xavier's quite proficient with it.
I've still got the Predator I bought off Bjorn from North Shiraitwell back in the day, and with the Z2 on it.
Yep.
That's my go-to cue if I'm playing on the 7-footers. It's
Oh yeah. I still have. I won the national B grade snooker in 2001. I had a Dufferin snooker cue that I won it with, but the prize was $500 and a Power Glide Maestro snooker cue, and that's still what I use today on the 7-foot tables. Love it.
Yeah, I've still got an English Ash.
Nothing like
Snooker
English Ash
cue.
for the 7-foots, I tell you.
But I find these days it's just such an adjustment down in terms of tip size from what I'm used to playing with now. It's I find it easier personally to go back to the Predator with a slightly smaller tip and a similar feel in terms of my hand and the weight of the cue than going back down to that English Ash cue, which I'll never get rid of. But
I think the fact that I've got a 7-footer at home and I use my Ash cue all the time on it, it's just what I'm used
which
to.
I don't. So this is actually
wasn't
lined
easy to
up for a
comment
run
on.
out.
Connor. I like to think I had a little bit to do with bringing them back too there, Jared. Hassling them over personal messages on Facebook. When he entered that Scotch doubles with you, I said, come on mate, get into the singles as well. New Zealand pool needs you back. You got to stroke the ego, you see. So here we go. It's the 10-5 that I talked about. Once I knew it was a race to 10. Or is it? What's going to happen here? Oh, look at that.
Would you
That's
believe
what's going to happen.
That
Could have kissed the 10 and been
Yep.
a totally
I think
different
that's
story.
What described as by a bee's knacker.
What do you do here? You play a little bit of check and try and hold it without even touching a rail?
I would try that, and
That's what most of us would try.
and I'd probably mess it up.
But Matt might run it right up past the middle and go 1, 2, 3, and back down here.
Yep.
Because
And he's welcome
it's
to
a
do
more
that.
definite shot.
It is
When
more
you try
positive.
and hold that, it's a tentative shot. I don't know which he's going to choose, but just to let you know, there's a couple of
What's the
options
line
there.
after the white from the 8 compared
See
to
how
the
he's playing top?
Yeah,
Means he's going to go
all the
up
way
here.
around, Well,
He's
that's
going to
his
go
plan at
right
the
round
moment.
the table and come around the other side of the
Well, where's
tent.
that natural line on the black taking him relative to that centre pocket?
Just in front. Oh, no, sorry, past it. Should go past the middle to about that first diamond past the middle. And then up by the Kamui sticker at the top
Yeah.
to the next
And
Kamui
is the top
sticker.
likely to draw it closer to
And
the
then
middle?
here.
Or is he going? He's going more centre ball now, isn't he?
He's making sure he's got a little bit of left on it. I don't know. This is one of these shots. You think you'd do this, do this. First instincts, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, well,
3 rails is
Yeah.
Jared's.
the risk on playing the check shot was
I think
you underdo
Matt's
it.
a 3 rail player because he likes to play his pots definite. See, 1, 2, 3.
And short.
It's his shot from the World Pool Masters. What's your prediction, ladies? Good night, nurse, or is there another chapter to this story? Watch his cue.
Cut by the
If he
look.
finishes nice on the stroke, the 10's in. He finished nice on the stroke, and the 10's in. There it is. 13 times national champion Matt Edwards has done it again. He's defended his title. He's now a 13-time national champion. Commiserations to Sullivan, who carved his way all the way to that final on one life. His biggest mistake was taking Matt's first life. I'll tell you, if I ever get in that position, I'll just let him go through and see if I can get him in the final. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks, John, for joining me in the commentary box. Thank you, Shane, Spitfire Science. Thank you, Mez, NZPA, Kamui, Cyclop, Excellence Billiards, Pool and Blues. And we'll see you all again tomorrow, where we've got the National 9-Ball Champs.
I'll be here. I'll be working hard at 9 o'clock getting those games on tables, and we'll talk to you maybe during the weekend. And for those of you who are looking at events you haven't already entered, don't go past looking at the Oceanias coming up in August. It's on the NZPA website. Look at events.
Facebook page.
At the Facebook page coming up there as well. And it should be a rock and roll event. It's basically a 6-day carnival of pool between the Oceania Cup, the 2-day event for the 10-ball and the 3-day event for the 9-ball. It's going to be a pool festival held in Auckland at Pool and Blues, and I'd love to see some of you here. Take care.